In the history of dogs, no other group has been bred specifically to end threats. These aren't pets that happen to be protective. These are animals designed for one purpose: guard work. For centuries, their reputation has been built on real incidents, documented attacks, and a willingness to engage that most breeds don't have. These are the top 10 guard dogs that intruders fear the most. Let's begin with number 10. Number 10 is the Bullmastiff. This breed was created in 1860s England, specifically to track down and pin poachers on large estates. Gamekeepers needed a dog that could work silently in the dark, cover ground fast, and take down a full-grown man without killing him. The Bullmastiff was bred from bulldogs and mastiffs at a 60-40 ratio to get the perfect balance of aggression and control. According to the Kennel Club records from that era, these dogs were trained to knock poachers down and hold them by lying across their chest until the gamekeeper arrived. They called it pinning. But here's the thing, poachers weren't going quietly. These were armed men desperate not to get caught, and Bullmastiffs had to be willing to take on someone swinging a club or knife. The breed standard from 1924 describes them as fearless and confident yet docile. That docile part only applies to their family. With strangers, especially on their property, the tone shifts from watchful to obsessive. They don't bark much. They were bred for silence, so the first warning an intruder gets is 130 pounds of muscle coming at them. In 2019, a Bullmastiff in Florida reportedly stopped a home invasion by blocking the door and refusing to move when 3 men tried to force entry. The men left. No bites, no chase, just a dog that made it clear he wasn't willing to blink first. Their size works against them in agility, but in close quarters they're devastating. Modern protection trainers still use Bullmastiffs for estate work because that's what they were built for. If you need a dog that won't alert the neighborhood but will end a threat quietly, this is your breed. Let's move to number 9, the giant Schnauzer. Most people see a Schnauzer and think grooming competitions, but the giant Schnauzer was bred in Bavaria as a cattle-driving dog and later adapted for police and military work in Germany. These dogs went toe-to-toe with livestock that outweighed them by 1,000 pounds, and they had to have the nerve to bite a bull's nose to turn a herd. According to the American Kennel Club, giant Schnauzers were used by German police forces throughout the 1900s, especially in Munich. They were selected for their combination of size, intelligence, and what trainers called hardness, the ability to take a hit and keep working. During World War I and II, they served as guard dogs at military installations and reportedly had one of the lowest rates of handlers being attacked during escape attempts by prisoners. In protection sports like Schutzhund, giant Schnauzers consistently rank in the top tier. They have a 238 psi bite force and the territorial drive to back it up. But here's what separates them: their thinking while they're working. A Rottweiler might charge straight in. A giant Schnauzer will cut off your exit, position themselves between you and the door, and force you into a corner before engaging. In 2015, a giant Schnauzer in Texas reportedly held a burglar in a garage for 2 hours until police arrived. The man had broken in through a side door, and the dog blocked the only exit. No bites, just positioning and pressure. Their grooming needs turn off a lot of working dog people, but protection trainers who've worked with them know the truth. These dogs don't just guard, they calculate. If territorial drive had a chess player, it would be the giant Schnauzer. Number 8 is the Cane Corso. This is an ancient Italian breed that goes back to Roman war dogs. The name Corso comes from cohors, meaning bodyguard. These dogs were used to guard property, hunt wild boar, and drive cattle in southern Italy for over 2,000 years. By the 1970s, the breed nearly went extinct, but breeders in Puglia brought them back specifically to preserve their working temperament. According to the Società Amatori Cani Corso, the breed standard emphasizes a vigilant and attentive guardian of property and family. But that's corporate language. What it really means is, this dog will engage a threat without hesitation. Their bite force measures around 700 psi, one of the strongest in the dog world. In 2018, a cane Corso in Michigan reportedly fought off two armed intruders who broke into a home at 3 a.m. The dog took a stab wound to the shoulder, but kept fighting until both men fled. The dog survived and was back to guard work within weeks. That's the difference between a pet and a protection dog: willingness to take damage and keep going. Cane Corsos are used by Italian police and military units for apprehension work. They're fast for their size, hitting speeds of 32 mph, and they have the mass to knock a full-grown man off his feet. Modern protection trainers describe them as pressure dogs. They don't just bite, they drive through the target. But here's the business angle. Cane Corsos are not beginner dogs. They need experienced handlers who understand dominance and pack structure. Without proper training, that territorial drive turns into liability. With the right handler, they're one of the most reliable guard breeds in existence. If you need a dog that looks intimidating and backs it up with real capability, the Cane Corso is built for that work. Number 7 is the Belgian Malinois. This breed has replaced German Shepherds in most elite military and police units worldwide. Navy SEALs use them. Secret Service uses them. The dog that went on the raid to take down Osama bin Laden in 2011 was a Belgian Malinois named Cairo. That tells you everything about their capability. According to military canine trainers, Malinois was selected over German Shepherds because they're lighter, faster, and have a higher pain tolerance. A German Shepherd averages 65 to 90 pounds. A Malinois averages 55 to 75 pounds, but has the same bite force at around 195 psi. They can scale a 10-foot wall, run 30 mph, and work in extreme heat without breaking down. In 2019, a Belgian Malinois named Conan chased down ISIS leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi into a tunnel and engaged him despite being injured by the explosion that killed the target. President Trump publicly honored the dog. That's the level these dogs operate at. They don't quit under fire. But here's what makes them different from other guard breeds. They're not just reactive, they're proactive. A Rottweiler will guard a perimeter. A Malinois will patrol, identify threats at distance, and engage before the threat gets close. Protection trainers call it forward aggression. They don't wait for the intruder to come to them, they go hunting. The downside is energy. Malinois need 2 to 3 hours of work daily or they become destructive. They're not couch dogs. If you can't provide the work, don't get the breed. But if you need a dog that can do protection, detection, tracking, and apprehension all at an elite level, the Belgian Malinois is the top choice for professionals worldwide. Let's move to number 6, the Akita. This is a Japanese breed with a history that goes back over 400 years. Akitas were originally used to hunt bear, boar, and deer in the mountains of northern Japan. The Japanese government designated them as a national monument in 1931. During World War II, all dogs except German Shepherds were ordered killed for their fur. Akita breeders hid their dogs in remote mountain villages to save the breed. According to the Akita Club of America, these dogs have what's called same-sex aggression. They don't tolerate other dogs of the same gender. That's not a training issue. That's genetics from centuries of dog-fighting culture in Japan before it was banned. An Akita will go after another dog without warning and without stopping until one of them is done. That aggression translates to human threats, too. In 2016, an Akita in New York reportedly attacked a man who broke into his owner's apartment and held him down by the throat until police arrived. The man survived, but required surgery. The dog had no protection training, just territorial instinct. Akitas are silent guardians. They don't bark to warn, they move to intercept. Helen Keller brought the first Akitas to America in 1937, and even she noted their protective nature in her writings. The most famous Akita, Hachiko, waited at a train station in Japan for 9 years after his owner died. That loyalty goes both ways: fierce protection for family, cold indifference to everyone else. Their bite force measures around 350–400 psi, and they have a double coat that makes them nearly immune to cold weather. In northern climates, they're one of the few breeds that can guard outdoors year-round without shelter. But here's the reality. Akitas are not social dogs. They don't do dog parks, they don't do play dates, and they don't tolerate strangers touching them. If you need a dog that bonds with your family and only your family, the Akita is built for that role. Number 5 is the Presa Canario. This breed comes from the Canary Islands, where they were used for guarding livestock and dogfighting before it was banned. The name means Canarian catch dog. They were bred to grab cattle by the nose and hold them for slaughter. That grab-and-hold instinct is still in the breed today. According to the United Presa Canario Club, these dogs were nearly extinct by the 1960s when dogfighting was outlawed in Spain. Breeders revived them in the 1970s specifically for guard work. The breed standard describes them as calm but vigilant. But when they switch on, the tone shifts from watchful to aggressive in seconds. In 2001, a Presa Canario in San Francisco killed a woman in an apartment hallway in one of the most publicized dog attack cases in U.S. history. The case went to court, and testimony revealed the dogs had been trained for aggression by their previous owner. The dogs weighed 140 pounds each. This isn't a breed that bites and releases, they bite and crush. Their bite force is estimated at 540 psi, and they have a head the size of a lion's. Professional protection trainers use Presas for property guarding, especially in rural areas where livestock predators like coyotes and feral dogs are an issue. A Presa will kill a coyote in seconds. But here's the business side. Insurance companies blacklist this breed. Homeowners insurance will drop you if you own a Presa Canario in most states. Apartments won't allow them. That's not speculation, that's documented policy from major carriers like State Farm and Allstate. If you need a dog that can handle large property with serious threats,
has a
the
more
Presa
focused set of
Canario
potential
has the
issues.
capability.
This isn't a
But
judgment
you
on
need
one
to
breed's health
understand the
over
liability that comes with it. This is a breed that doesn't forgive mistakes in training or handling. Number 4 is the Doberman Pinscher. This breed was created in the 1890s by a German tax collector named Carl Friedrich Louis Doberman. He needed a dog that could protect him while he collected money in dangerous neighborhoods. He crossed German Pinschers, Rottweilers, Black and Tan Terriers and Greyhounds to create a dog with speed, bite power and loyalty. The result was the Doberman. According to the Doberman Pinscher Club of America, these dogs were used extensively by the U.S. Marine Corps during World War II in the Pacific Theater. They served as sentries, messengers, and scouts. 25 Dobermans died at the Battle of Guam in 1944, and there's a memorial for them at the National War Dog Cemetery. That's the level of work this breed was built for. Dobermans have a bite force of around 245 psi and can run 32 mph. They're faster than most guard breeds and have the stamina to maintain pursuit. In protection sports, they consistently rank in the top 3 for obedience and bite work. What separates them is intelligence. Dobermans learn commands faster than almost any other breed. Training that takes 10 repetitions for a Rottweiler takes 3 for a Doberman. In 2020, a Doberman in Arizona reportedly stopped a carjacking by lunging through an open car window and biting the attacker's arm. The man fled, and the dog returned to the vehicle to guard the owner. No formal protection training, just instinct. But here's what makes Dobermans elite. They're thinking while they're working. They won't just charge a threat blindly. They assess distance, timing, and positioning before engaging. Protection trainers call it tactical aggression. A Doberman will fake a charge to test your reaction, then adjust based on what you do. The downside is health. Dobermans have heart issues, specifically dilated cardiomyopathy, which kills many of them by age 8 to 10. But during their working years, they're one of the most reliable protection breeds in existence. If you need a guard dog that looks intimidating and backs it up with speed and intelligence, the Doberman is built for that role.